Welcome back. Still staying with the Nigeria Vote series. We're looking at the African Democratic Congress and its adoption of Peter Obi as its presidential candidate. Now, the news filtered in about 48 hours ago amidst the many controversies that have trailed that adoption. Let's get some clarity on the conversation as we're being joined by Chief Ralph Nwosu, who is the national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Fantastic morning to you, Chief Ralph. Good morning.
Good morning, my dear friend. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. We know that there are some issues with the ADC. We know that there were talks about someone being suspended from the party, and then the name still remains within with INEC as the candidate for the party. Can you bring some clarity to Nigerians? Where exactly is ADC in all of this? And then the whole talks about the adoption of Peter Obi by your candidate, by your party. Let's have some clarity on this conversation.
Thank you very much. On Monday this week, the African Democratic Congress adopted Mr. Peter Obi for president. We had to adopt him as our presidential candidate because I'm sure that you members of the media and Nigerians completely, they've been aware of ADC's activities. We set up this party almost about 16 years ago. And for the last 16 years, we've operated this party in a very peaceful manner because we wanted ADC to be the transformational party. We are aware of the two supposedly ruling parties, and we deliberately wanted to construct a third way, trying to build the third force, because the culture of our politics, which everybody can still see, is not good. It's highly monetized, it's polluted, and you see all kind of skimming. So ADC was built to be a different party. And before this election, we were getting it right. From 2018, when some eminent Nigerians adopted the party as they singled out the party as one of the leading lights for our democracy, including many eminent persons like former presidents, Obasanjo and IBB, and so on. We've tried to run a very decent party. That's why we were adopted. Having said that, before this election regime started, we did some sterling things. Nigerians saw us coming up. And unfortunately, at a point, when they saw ADC as a threat, some people planted somebody to block us. And did this succeed? Nigerians are seeing. But for the first time, after our 16 years, we've had some real shakeups. We're in court, we're doing this, and so on and so forth, which is not in our character, just because of one person. And this so-called person who got our candidacy running for president doesn't have one party office. Sorry, doesn't have one campaign office across Nigeria. The election is in 2 or 3 days' time. Doesn't have one campaign office. Doesn't have any poster anywhere in Nigeria. He got our ticket since June 9th. All he does is blackmail the party, blackmail the leadership, blackmail everybody. But I have established my identity and my character for more than 30 years before, so people who know Chief Nwosu, they know what we can do. And people have gotten associated with ADC, and they know what ADC represents as far as Nigerian politics is concerned. Within the period that ADC was registered, over 120 political parties have been deregistered. But ADC didn't fall into that because of the way we have navigated leadership issues. We have run people like Pat Utomi as our presidential candidate after we got started in 2007. After Pat Utomi, the former deputy governor of Central Bank, now late, Melafia Obadia, ran on our ticket. Nigerians saw a scintillating political party. Unfortunately, this young man, they pulled him into our party. It's a delegate system, and he deceived the delegates. But by the grace of God, we have overcome all of this. We're in court, but while the party leadership were busy saying, okay, we got it wrong with the presidential ticket, but we have some great guys who are running for governor of the different states. In the 28 states, we have governorship candidates. As a matter of fact, we have 1,411 candidates in this election. We say the fact that we got one wrong should not stop us from doing work for the other candidates, 1,000 plus. So we've concentrated in ensuring that those candidates will do the best that's possible, so that one mistake will not ruin everything. And then, as far as that mistake is concerned, while we've been harassed, blackmailed, but we are focused. We said, how do we end this campaign? Who among the people who are running for president, the values, the manifesto, everything the person stands for, the character aligns with the ADC DNA? It took us a rigorous process because of the politics of the land, but eventually we settled for Mr. Peter Obi. And why, you might, I guess Nigerians want to know why we settled for him. We are a people-oriented party. We are for the citizens of Nigeria and Africa. And we are a transformational party, the party that has held on to the transformational ideology. It's taken us time to start to manifest what our party is really all about. But that time, by the grace of God, Nigerians will see is worth it. Nation building is not a very easy exercise, and so on. And then I think the choice we made eventually aligns with the thoughts of most Nigerians and the critical people who will look, who form the bedrock of our party, the Nigerian youths. So we took that decision, and now we have activated our entire process. Let's make sure that Peter Obi is elected, and then we are still working with the Labour Party people, but we've gotten some concessions and some agreements. The agreement is there are some areas where Labour they don't have candidates. In such areas, if the ADC candidate is strong, the obedient movement and the Labour people will support the ADC, because by the time the whole process is concluded, the legislators that will come from ADC, House of Rep members, senators, and the legislators that will come from Labour Party and other parties we are trying to bring into this collaboration will become the legislators that will work with the Peter Obi and Ahmed Datti's presidency. So we are working, and I believe that Nigerians will enjoy the synergy. For the first time, they will see that the third way is better. The first two parties have failed in every way. Look at the economic situation. Look at the everything you cannot imagine, or everything you can imagine, has happened in this country. At the point it has to stop. It's not any of the two that will stop it. The third way is the way to go.
Thank you so much for that opening remark there. It really did put some clarity to some of the questions in the minds of Nigerians. One more question that, among others, that Nigerians will be asking, rather than, have the Labour Party based on the agreement in some areas and then the ADs in some areas, why not merge? Is this because of the faction within the ADC that is even saying that they and not in tune with your faction of the ADC that, you know, adopted Peter Obi as president?
Now, yeah, in almost all the parties and the coalition, you will see some few persons who feel either for ethnic reason or for whatever, or for whatever reason, may not agree with the with the decisions of the majority. It's a democracy, and the majority. And we took time. When it was clear to us that the presidential candidate that we've gotten was not running, and I mean it. All Nigeria, this guy is from Delta State, and he has never visited Delta State from the June 9th when he got his ticket. His office is in his small office in Maitama. He doesn't have any other office called ADC office or whatever, or campaign office. But regularly he comes up to TV to make some noise. So there are people who are working with him on his project. That's one. Then there may be a few people, sorry, a few others who have their own agenda. But 90% of, more than 90% of members of ADC agreed. We held an NWC meeting, we held a NEC meeting, and we got all our states to vote on who to support. And when we said that, we say, people, we must support somebody whose ideologies, whose ideas, whose character align with the DNA of ADC. That is one. And also, we must support somebody whom, if we say we are supporting you because we don't have presidential candidate, you have to support us in some other ways, but not financial. In the ways we are running, take for instance, we have the best persons who are running for governor in Kano State. Labour Party is not running for governor in Kano State. And that collaboration, by the grace of God, will give us the governorship of Kano State. And Kano State people will breathe. That's, you know, we'll see transformation in process. No other party can give us that. Any other individuals who say, oh, we are not going to this part, we are going any other way. Yeah, I mean, Nigerians can see their motive. But that's, I mean, in all the political parties, you see people whom I say they don't agree with certain decisions for whatever reason. You know, it's free. It's a free world. It's not peculiar to ADC. ADC, we may be struggling, but please, at times I look at the media and say, give us some credit. We're a struggling party, and so on. But we are working on something that no other party has worked on, trying to create a strong culture. You know, when you're involved in change is difficult, especially in a corrupted system like Nigeria. It's difficult. So we are struggling in it. Media should join us. We need stakeholders to drive this change, because by the time we're able to achieve it, it will be good for everybody. It's just like what Peter Obi is doing. Very, very rigorous. Very rigorous. Some people may sneer at him and do different things and so on. But it's better for Nigerians to say this is the path to go. The path we've gone on since 1999 to now is not leading us anywhere. Taking that new path is difficult.
Right, Chief Monsu, I beg to interrupt at this moment. If you can hear me. You've been speaking so much about ideologies you share, the ADC shares with the Labour Party, and how much forming this strong alliance will bring about victory, in the upcoming elections. We did talk about ideologies of political parties and how they are bereft in Nigeria. Share with us, what ideology does the ADC have, I beg your pardon, the African Democratic Congress have, and that of the Labour Party that, bringing them together will form a strong alliance? Help Nigerians understand.
You know, before, at the beginning of this new 2023 elections, at the beginning, about 8 months ago, or let's say between February and between February and May, the Nigerian Labour Congress, ADC, and 10 other political parties, including Labour Party, we were working on building an alliance. And Nigerian Labour Congress came to us and said, there is this Labour Charter. Any of the political parties must have it as in their manifesto, if you want the the NLC to be part of the party. And ADC adopted it as part of their manifesto. So, frankly, by the grace of God, the third force is happening under Nigerian, under the Labour Party, but that is what all of us had desired. We all wanted it to happen under ADC. At a point, all the parties now say, okay, you know what, we must adopt a new name because we don't want it to be a one-party name. We tried all of those things for the last 18 months before now. So we've been involved in serious sessions trying to draw this graph. But God, in His infinite mercy, designed it His own way. And it would be irresponsible and unpatriotic of any of the political parties that any of the parties that that participated in that session to say, oh, I'm backing out because my party was not favored, and so on. So on ideology, the transformational leadership ideology, where we say transformation, changing the system, designing new processes, innovation, creativity, and looking at the diversity of this country and saying, what do we do with the diversity to bring the immense potential, immense, good thing that the diversity brings to the table, to bring it alive. And when you do this, and you do it correctly, then you run a transformational process that nobody else can do. The other political parties have used our diversity to divide us. But in our own system, we are bringing the whole diversity into the ecosystem so that we can take the advantages of diversity. Advantages: youth has energy, they have vitality, and the old age has the wisdom. You see it, you combine it. The Hausa Fulani or the Fulani race, they come with some form of energy, some form of zeal to work. The people from South, maybe Yorubas and so on, they bring their own culture. We put them together, we come up with something that no other, something that gives us comparative advantage compared with any other nation in the world. We have over 200 and something ethnicities. Instead of using the values inherent in all of them to make us have advantage over all the other countries, we are using the divisiveness in it to kill ourselves. And if you listen to Obi, you will hear him, talk about a new Nigeria. The new Nigerian option has always been that of ADC. Check ADC's record for more than the last 12 years. It's about building a new Nigeria, and so on. So transformational leadership brings into force all our differences, everything, to become a lot more creative in building. You build a compact nation with a new culture where you put the values of all of all the ethnicities all the different men, women, youth, adults, and old age, you put them together and you use it to create values that will give us comparative advantage. And the comparative advantage is not about Igbo, Yoruba. Comparative advantage is that Nigeria, China, Nigeria, US, we have comparative advantage because our diversity is working. And that's, it took us time before putting pen to paper with the Labour Party and the Obi's campaign. We got commitment. We got commitment that we are going to have a unity government that puts together all Nigerians. We got a commitment that it will not be business as usual, and so on and so forth.